Back to business, back to the nitty. We talk about classic cinema here. And I just forgot about the movie I was going to bring up.
Well, I assumed it was going to be one of the classic Police Academy movies.
Oh, I'm glad you said. When's the last time you saw Police Academy? Any of the, of course, the first one's the most brilliant, right?
I don't know. Whichever one they gave Bobcat Goldthwait more screen time was the best. I think that was either 2 or 3, because at that point that character had like a whole gang running with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was real torn up about his Mickey Mouse watch getting wet.
Oh, yes, right. He couldn't stand it. Well, my favorite part of Police Academy 1 is when Steve Guttenberg, who I believe is German or Dutch or something. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Steve Guttenberg, he has a tank top on almost, because it was back in the 80s when guys could wear like those, midriff.
A midriff?
Yeah, that's what it was. And it said "one in the oven," and it pointed down toward his crotch. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool. As a kid, I was like, I want that shirt.
Yeah. I heard during those L.A. Palisades fires, Steve Guttenberg was out there moving people's cars that had been abandoned on the road so that the fire trucks could get through.
Moving them to a dealership so he could get some cash, some quick cash.
Gotta pay Uncle Sam.
Yeah. What have you seen? Well, we were just talking about Police Academy, which I recently rewatched. I believe it's Police Academy 1, where the end climax. Now, writing a script for a movie that's supposed to be a comedy, because Police Academy, like the first one at least, is like an actual comedy, right?
Yeah.
But they have this big climactic scene at the end that's a riot. And that in itself, like the whole riot scene is kind of funny, because nowadays, when I look at movies, I always envision that day of production. And I always envision, how did they get that shot? Like, so obviously they have all these actors, background people. And they're like, okay, guys, we need you to run towards these cops and just be really animated. And there's a bunch of guys going, ah,
But be silent, because they have dialogue to say.
Exactly. So
yeah.
So I always find it's cool to think about what direction they got for that kind of stuff. So they try and end this comedy movie with a climactic, dramatic, finish, which to pull that off in a comedy where everything through the first part of the movie is comedy that's tough to do. I think the only like serious part really is when they cover racism, maybe when one of the commanders calls, you remember that lady with the tiny voice?
Yeah.
He calls her stupid, dumb nincompoop, was what the TV edit said. When I was a kid, I loved Police Academy. That was the reason I wanted to be a policeman, because I thought it was exactly like Police Academy. I was like,
thought it was so you could beat up your friends and take their drugs.
Yeah, well, I saw Eddie Murphy Raw, and I saw Police Academy, and I was like, well, they're both kind of comedic. You could either be a funny policeman or you could be Eddie Murphy, But those were the two things I was watching back then. Oh, no, that's Popeye. I was trying to think of... but, oh, yeah, and in this movie you have Kim Cattrall. Look, there's Kim Cattrall.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
she shows her bush in other movies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and she's a Sex and the City lady, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Too Tall Jones, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where... the bad guy, this guy, Commandant, I forget his name. But he's the bad guy, and he says, "You stupid, dumb nincompoop." But he does not say those exact words.
Yeah.
This throws Too Tall Jones into a rage. And I believe he, picks him up or turns him upside down in the car or something. But then he gets fired. And he's working in a flower shop. And that's really the most serious part they have until that dramatic climax right there, I think.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, at the end of the movie, they solve all future crimes so that no one ever has to deal with the police again.
Future
right?
crime.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then that leads right into Police Academy 2, 3, and 4, 5, because obviously it didn't work.
What about Citizens on Patrol?
That's I think that one was my favorite.
That's the one with Jays Moores, right? Jays Moores is in that one?
Yeah, Citizens on Patrol. And they just go around mugging people.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. And then to bring it back to the Bob, to the cat, to the goat weight. It seemed like they're like, well, we can't get Sam Kinison. Maybe we can get another guy who screams in his act. And Bobcat Goldthwait, he's an interesting stand-up career arc because he was at like the height of his popularity. He was like in Police Academy. I remember on HBO or Showtime, he had some specials. He was like one of the big guys in the 80s. And then he said that he couldn't do the voice. He didn't want to do the voice anymore because, of course, he doesn't talk like that. You know, it's and he said that he didn't want to do it anymore. So I always thought that aspect of it was really funny. And, of course, this was like when it was the height of 80s hair metal and, oh, my God, rock is evil, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a dolphin sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, this character resonated heavily with me when I was a child. Yeah.
Did you try and do an impression of him? Or
no, I never even tried. But yeah, the way my dad always explained it, he's like, that guy's just crazy. This is the one thing to call him.
Your dad wasn't like, that guy's on Queer Street.
Surprisingly, no.
I like the part in, I think it's Police Academy 2, where the one where they go to the zoo, like they're holding them in the zoo, they kidnap the cops, and they're like, where are we? And he's like, we're at the old zoo, where they'll never find you. He's like, oh, the old zoo, not the new zoo, because he's wearing that wire. He's like, the old zoo.
Yeah. So they have that big dramatic racist moment in that movie, the first one.
Yes, and that's so interesting that they would put that in a movie. I mean, it was in the 1980s.
Those moments throw you off in a comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
You're having a good time, and then you just feel like, whoa, I got dizzy.
Yeah, and you're like, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. They're meshing. We're trying to take on this heavy moment, but I don't know. I always thought it was so bizarre. It's almost as bizarre as if you go to a benefit against hate, and the guy's screaming "white power." What's going on there? I mean, hey, what's the best Pantera album ever?